first day they were like, where are the books? Where are the blackboards? They were flabbergasted. They were saying, "Ye kya ho raha hai? Ye, what is this?" If you want us to instill values from scratch, it's very difficult. Not everybody understands what experiential learning means. Our children are searching for that sense of self, but socially and emotionally, they are becoming very isolated. Teachers were not trained to teach.
What do you feel one thing that could change, or one thing that India should really focus on in terms of education and its children? That's Shaheen Shafi, principal of Heritage Experiential Learning School in Noida. Over 30 years in education, she's been a founding member of what's now one of India's top international schools. She's transformed how teachers teach across 1,000 government classrooms in 5 states. And now she leads one of NCR's most progressive institutions. But the story that stayed with me wasn't about any of that. It was about a gap that every Indian parent will recognize. The gap between choosing a new way of learning for your child and actually being ready for what that really means. And this is the story behind. I've not been able to forget what we spoke of last evening, where I had to cut you because I was very curious. Because when I asked you about your role, that what do you say when people ask you about your current role? And you said, I dream, and you dream of spaces. And I want you to start with that today. What's that dream?
So, as an educator, as a student, when I was in school, I used to dream of possibility, of there being the possibility of other ways to learn, because I used to like a particular way of learning. But those many years ago, schools were very traditional, and there was only one way, and that was the teacher's way.
Yeah.
Right. So therefore, that's the reason I came into education, to explore different ways of learning. And now what I dream is allowing children and creating spaces and opportunities for children to explore learning and life in the ways that they learn best, or they connect best to, and giving them that agency and that voice and that freedom is the core purpose of education in today's world anyways.
How did you figure that out? I mean, you felt something while you were in school, your days, that you felt that?
I felt that very strongly, because I felt that I'm creative. I used to do a lot of poetry and theater and dance, and I didn't like math and science because it wasn't taught to me in a way which I could connect to.
Yeah.
But I knew that I would certainly enjoy it if I was given a chance.
Or taught differently.
Or taught differently.
Right.
Unfortunately, possibly the teachers didn't know different. Or possibly they didn't want to learn.
Yeah.
Whatever it could be the reason. But they saw, it wasn't just me, there were other children struggling as well with these subjects. And I now see the possibility of how beautifully math and science can actually be learnt. I'm not saying taught, because I think they have to be explored.
Yeah.
They have to be experienced. And it is all around us.
Right.
Life is full of all the magic of science. And then later on, much later, when I had started training and creating curriculum, I met somebody who was a math expert. And he said, and which kind of really changed the game for me. He said that math is also a language. Numbers speak.
Okay.
And if you're able to hear what they say, then math becomes like a game. And I worked with him for a couple of years. We were in the same organization together. And I saw how he brought numbers to life.
And this is 10 years ago, or is this long back?
No, this is about 25 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where you picked up again, is it?
So I started when I always wanted to teach. So right before my graduation, I had also when I was a kid, I used to have all these. If you come into my home, and you pick up a magazine, you find red pen crosses and ticks all over because I would just kind of, for me, it was very fascinating how teachers would check books and teach. So we used to have a roll-up blackboard. we'll put in the veranda, and then I would gather all the boxes and tins and whatever I could, and put them in a straight row, and they would be my pretend students.
Right.
So when I finished college, I had already taken up a job as a teacher.
Yeah.
I had my red pens ready. Those were the
Okay.
days when red pens were not banned. And I was very excited
Okay, now
about
they
it.
are banned.
Of course,
Okay.
now we don't use red
Was
pens.
red.
I think, yeah. Um, so I started my journey as a teacher in a very traditional school, but I started making some changes there because I figured that I was a teacher of grade 2 and children didn't know the letters of the alphabet. I said, how have they come to grade 2? There's something wrong in the way they've been taught. We have to do things differently. And when I started doing things differently, I was in trouble. But they slowly came around to saying that this person will not listen to us. She will do her own thing, but she'll probably get results. So it was quite a game changer there. But slowly I kind of realized that this is not working, and I need to align with people and schools who think differently. So I chanced upon, when I got married, I moved to Ahmedabad, and I chanced upon a school that was just setting up. It was called Eklavya.
Okay.
In Ahmedabad. And I met the director. So I'd gone to put in my resume at the reception, and I don't know why the receptionist told me, okay, you can speak to sir. So I said, hi, I'd like to come and meet you for 2 minutes. He said, I only have 2 minutes.
Okay.
You can meet me, but I only have 2 minutes.
Okay.
So I went in. I think we spoke for about an hour. I walked out with the job. The job was, I was part of a team of 4 people. The Eklavya primary school was set up, and we were supposed to set up the middle school. And to do that, we traveled the entire country, visited some of the most progressive schools of that time. So that's where my entire philosophy of education changed. I visited the Krishnamurti Foundation schools.
Okay.
I visited some of the most progressive schools around Bangalore, down south, Mumbai, and just realized that there is so much more that we can do in education.
Speaking of Bangalore, you mentioned Inventure Academy just yesterday while we were catching up. And you helped them grow from ground, I think, from scratch.
So we were part of the founding team. When we started, there were about 27 students that we started with. I was part of the group that actually wrote their mission statement as well. So we did a workshop where so as part of that. So from the CEO, Nourain Fazal, is a very, very, I would call her a visionary in terms of what she's thought through and where she's brought the school. But at that point of time, the building wasn't ready. So she connected with me again, and she said that I have 27 children, and I need you to engage them for a month till my school is ready.
Okay.
I said, okay, I'll try and do what I can. So my colleague, I was working with an organization called iDiscover at that point of time. And my colleague had a farm in Bangalore. So I asked him, I said, Jerry, can we use your farm? He said, go ahead.
So engage the students, but not in school premises because the school is not ready. So you had to also figure out a look.
So we had to figure out what the program would be that would actually keep the students usefully engaged. Ensure that learning is happening so that the parents are not up in arms. And at the same time, make it fun for them. So we started this project on the farm, and there were just 3 of us and 1 outdoor instructor.
Okay.
So we divided the children into 2 groups, all 28 of them. So there was one group with grades 1 and 2, and the rest 3 to 7 were in the other group, grades 3 to 7. And the first day they were like, where are the books? Where are the blackboards? And then we asked them to sit on the ground, and they were saying, those will get dirty.
Okay.
They were flabbergasted. They were saying, Ye kya ho raha hai? What is this? I said, theek hai. So by day 2, they started exploring the farm.
Okay.
Day 3, we said, okay, let's sit down.
Yeah.
And figure out what we want to do on the farm, because we are here for a month.
Hmm.
And now you know that we don't have blackboards, we don't have books,
Yeah.
we're not wearing uniform.
Yeah.
Okay, so therefore there is no classroom per se.
Yeah.
But yet we will do some interesting stuff. So they came up with an idea. They wanted to dig a pond because they went around the farm and they saw that there's no pond.
Okay.
For their thought was a farm hai, pond hona chahiye.
ठीक है.
I said, "ठीक है."
Yeah.
So what will you be doing? How will you dig the pond? What will you figure out? What are the things you need to figure out?
Yeah.
So the size, the dimension, the depth, the distance from the tank from where the water will come, the pond edge plants that need to be planted around the pond, right?
Right.
So they planned. So the little babies thought about the pond edge plants. The bigger ones went into the math and science of, area, perimeter, dimension,
Okay.
figuring out the science of getting the water from
So
there.
these were 27 students.
These were 27
different age
groups.
Okay.
So grades 3 to 7.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And what a time we had. So two of them said, we will build a tree house. I said,
Okay.
okay, off you go,
Acha.
plan,
Okay.
and let's do this. And we spent a month digging a pond, figuring out, अरे पानी तो डालेंगे तो चला जा रहा है वो तो
Yeah, groundwater.
So therefore you need a lining or something to kind of keep the water. So there was so much of math and science and and language and exploration and research that happened, and a lot of MI, what we call different kinds of intelligences, where because you're connecting to you're learning in different ways. Every child was given the agency to learn, but come together at the end of the day and work together. We also had an afternoon reflection time, which we call the golden time.
Okay.
Where the entire day, so the day was a common project, then there was to be my time, and then the golden hour, and we'd start the day with games.
Okay.
Physical activity. So the my time was you could go anywhere on the farm and engage in some activity. You have to plan it, tell us, and there has to be a result.
Okay.
So it could be cleaning. So there were some children who loved dogs, so they were cleaning out the kennels.
All right.
Okay. Now parents would ask, today's parents would ask, well, what's the learning in that?
Yeah.
Luckily, our parents didn't ask us at that point of time. By the end of 1 month, my children had learned a lot more than they would have otherwise learned doing a couple of chapters through the month in textbooks.
Yeah.
They learned about nature, they learned about decision making, problem solving, working together, communicating. Today, that program is kind of, now it's almost 20 years plus. That program is a intrinsic part of how Inventure starts their academic year.
Wow.
Every year. Now, of course, it's moved to the campus and they've evolved. But I think it is about constructivism, allowing children to figure out what they want to learn and to be able to learn that in the ways that they learn best. And that is what I dream of, to be able to empower my teachers to have the skill and the courage to do that, to provide the resources and the spaces to do that, to get a buy-in from our parents as well, as that this is the way they will learn. So we've seen that the result of the process. It's early days. Our grade 10 results are fantastic this year.
Okay.
Our first batch of grade 10.
Okay.
We've got some fantastic results.
At Heritage.
At Heritage.
Okay.
So it can happen.
But you did the groundwork for Inventure. It's one of the top schools now.
Yeah.
You worked with over 1,000 government schools.
Yeah.
Why would you land up in Noida at Heritage in middle of a management change? What was it?
So I was, when Heritage was starting out, I was, as I said, I was with an organization called I Discover I. So Manit had connected with us, and I was part of a team that was actually helping him transform the Gurgaon school into an experiential learning school.
Okay.
So the early days, I was creating their curriculum. We were training the teachers. We were in the classroom. So the entire journey of the start of that journey happened with us.
Got it.
So I was in touch with Manit over the years. When Noida was starting out, they asked if I could come in. I was in Indore at that time. I said no. I won't be able to move in. Some years later, I was ready to move because I have my ancestral home in Old Delhi, and my husband had moved. So it was time for me to move as well. The time was right. So I said, okay, let's give it a shot because I like to work with startup schools. I don't like to work in schools that are already set. There is so much more you can do when you're starting out.
Right. Right.
And heritage is more than just a brand, it's a belief. When we talk about the values of inclusion, we talk about attentiveness. Those are our dharmas, our values that we live by: respect, freedom. Therefore, no uniforms, right? No books for a large part. But yet, the rigor is there. The learning is there because we believe that if you can open up the world to the children, not restrict them to a single book, there is so much more that they can learn. If you allow their voice in the classroom, there are so many beautiful questions that will trigger such beautiful and deep learning, right? Reflection, exploration, investigation. There's so much that happens when you allow children to be. And so I said, another heritage. This time I was ready. And I said, let's move. So I did move, although I was worried whether I'll be able to sustain the travel from Delhi to Noida every day. It's been almost 2 years. I'm happily doing it. As I said, for me, every morning, the day I stop getting up with joy that, okay, another day at school, I'll know that my journey is done. But till that time, I'm happy.
So you tell that it's a different way of learning. It's an experiential way of learning at Heritage. Parents come with a lot of hopes and excitement, and they want their child or children to study at Heritage. And maybe do they come back 6 months later when in panicking that there's no report card? How are they able to judge? So what's happening?
There? They do. They do. They do. Many of them do. Because not everybody understands what experiential learning means. Experiential, and NEP talks about experiential learning now. We've been doing it for 20 years at Heritage. It's not just doing activities. There's a whole cycle of learning that is important. Immersing in that experience, being able to reflect on that experience, being able to kind of form an understanding, applying that learning, coming up with another cycle of reflection and immersion and learning. So, and all of that requires a lot of discipline and rigor. But also we believe in doing it at a certain pace. So if you're going to compare us with another school and say, उनके बच्चे ने तो अभी तक ये कर लिया है, आप तो नहीं कर रहे हो, अभी तो आप 2 महीने से आप मैग्नेट से सिखा रहे हो, you know. So we do come up with those questions, and I think what we've started to do now, which we didn't do in the past 1.5 years of transition, is we have started engaging with the parent community. And we're going to do a series of samvads with them, small group discussions, which will not be about what's happening at school in terms of transport or management, etc., but more around pedagogy, around teaching learning strategies, our beliefs, our processes.
So the vision is passed and perspective is
so that they understand. And we are also doing pictures of practice or a glimpse inside the classroom for parents. So they will experience what a typical day for the child looks like. Not by observing the children, but by actually experiencing a session with our teachers. I think that will create more
That's very interesting, because one of my friends went for one such session in February, and she came back with lots of positive feedback because she could also experience what her kid was doing and the way of learning. I think that's
I think that experience, when we talk about experience, we shouldn't deprive our parents of it either.
So there's a gap.
There is, and there will be.
Massive
so the next,
gap.
I'm foreseeing that for the next couple of years, we'll try to close the gap, but the gap is there, and we'll be very foolish. I'm sorry to use that word, but if we kind of do not recognize that. Because somewhere parents also feel that traditional school में भी तो हम पढ़ के यहाँ तक पहुँच गए हैं.
Yeah.
So why can't my children also learn the same way?
I'm also on the same mindset. I don't have kids yet.
Okay.
But I'm surrounded by parents who have kids.
Yeah.
And me and my wife listen to them.
Yeah.
And especially because of young Indians, our group is such. And while both of us are listening to them, we are like, हम भी तो निकले हैं यार. So
आप जब निकले हैं
I think that's
the times are changing. The challenges are different. Knowledge as we know it, or content as we know it today, is constantly evolving, changing.
Yeah.
And what is important is to give the children the skills to cope with a world and a future that none of us right now have even an iota of understanding. AI is changing the face of everything.
Yeah.
For example, how we learn, how we research, how we get data.
Changing weekly.
Changing weekly. I was talking to my parents in the morning session today, and I was telling them that, I was in fact addressing the children who were there with their parents. And I said, your grandparents had 10 career choices.
Yeah.
Your parents had 100.
Right.
Probably.
Right.
You are going to have countless. I can't even fathom the number of choices that will evolve by the time you reach a stage where you're going to have to make a decision. And that cannot come with only one way of teaching and learning. You have to evolve.
Right.
You have to give the children the space to be themselves, to bring together the skills that are required to not only cope, but also to succeed.
Yeah. You've seen the phase of the government schools where even the teachers might not have textbooks.
Yeah.
Or have maybe no idea of what to teach.
How to use the textbook.
Or how to use the textbook. And they are the teacher. And let's say a guru for a bunch of students in that class. And you've witnessed that. You've worked very hard on bringing a lot of changes through various curriculums. You've seen an environment which has no resources to an environment now, or let's say Inventure, where the resources are in abundance. What's the contrast? I mean, and how can do you think we'll be able to fill up that gap also, maybe in some years, or some schools are just stuck with their mindset where the management is old school, or I don't know how to address them?
I think you've got the right word, mindset.
Mindset.
Yeah. I was conducting a session at IIM Indore last June with a group of 60 government school principals on experiential learning. And their question was, you come from a privileged school, so you can talk about it. What about us? I said, I have worked with government schools.
Yeah.
The beauty lies in your belief that it is possible, and then making it possible. Because I've seen that you can you don't have to have fancy material, let's say, to teach children math through concrete experiences. I mean, simple seeds and straws and sticks and stuff that you can find around you can also be used. I don't need fancy stuff. I mean, today you tell me that you have to go to a school and you have to run a school as an experiential school, and I will not give you. I shouldn't be saying this. My management shouldn't hear this. But if I were to run without resources also, I think I can do that, because I know that it is possible. All I have to do is look around and see what can I leverage.
I'm trying to connect dots, because I think social media has shown us premium and all of those things that we incline towards something which is maybe not easily accessible, maybe for school. So I have an experience, because through Young Indians we go to various schools, and recently we've started working with government aided schools or fully government also, and they sent us to Shiksha, some mantri, to sign the MOU because they can't sign it, and we saw what's happening. But we said, okay, let's forget the MOU. Let's do one activity. We went to the school. The room was open. Students came with a duster and started to dust the classroom first for us. And luckily, we had 4 or 5 members from YI that day. So we saw what's happening. And then we started to speak of why this. So I think when they think of the NEP, they always think of, oh, they need more resources, they need computers, but then they don't have electricity, but then they don't have, they majorly think
Internet.
of what they don't have.
Yeah.
And when they open Instagram or whatever social platform they're on, they see all good things happening, which they think they lack of. Is there a connection that way, that we've stopped thinking in terms of basics? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I think for anybody,
Mm-hmm.
any educator, it is important to start with the basics, to get your mind thinking, to innovate.
Yeah.
That is important. The resources will come. And of course, there is a gap. There are places where there is no internet, no electricity.
Yeah.
Can those children leverage the power of technology right now? Maybe not. But what they have,
Yeah.
let's make the best use of what they have. And I think
Yeah.
that comes from a mindset and from empowerment of the teacher. I think empowering the teachers is very important.
And how can we do it?
By allowing her to explore without fear. I think the one thing I do anytime I join a school is focus on fear.
Yeah.
Because if I have a fearful team who's afraid, they're going to transmit that fear to the children.
Right.
I mean, there's never going to be any freedom, and that's a value that I hold very dear. So if I can just say that, look, so long as my child is not emotionally or physically harmed,
right?
Yeah. If you want to explore the possibility of, let's take them out to learn something. What is the worst that can happen? You can probably not be very successful in that lesson.
Yeah.
The children are safe. That's important.
Right.
Will they come back with some learning? Certainly. But I'm not going to judge you on one failed lesson or even 2 failed lessons, for this example. So long as you're trying. And if the teachers are empowered with that belief, I think you have to believe in the team. You have to give them the power to allow them to explore, and of course then educate them as well. So there has to be skill building. There has to be a well-defined professional development roadmap for them, whether they are in a government school or a simple village school, or whether if they are in a fancy big brand school as well.
Yeah.
You can't escape it. The trajectory of learning for any teacher has to be the same. These are all add-ons.
Right.
They add a lot of, it's like the sprinklers on a muffin.
My spiritual guru often say that when you walk down a lane, it doesn't mean you'll reach the destiny. It's never meant to be sometimes. It's just you do all of those. Maybe you come across a lot of experiences and lessons, and maybe you come back home or whatever. So it's a 30-year career for you almost in education. What was the time? Because what I understood that during your school time, you figured out that this way of teaching is not working for you, and you had that wider perspective to even or conscious to understand that. And then you did your B.Ed, like you were mentioning today.
I did my B.Ed much later.
Yeah. Okay, much later. When you decided that you want to.
When one of the schools that I was working with wanted to appoint me as principal, and then realized that I don't have a B.Ed.
Nice.
And the board requires a B.Ed.
Yeah.
So they said, please, would you do it now?
Right.
So I did it then, much into my, much later.
Well, what was the moment where you figured out, maybe back in your school time, or by the old way of teaching, when you figured out that this isn't working? Was it in the maths class, like you were mentioning, or?
Yeah, I think it was during my school days that I figured that it was just very traumatic and unnecessary. And I wasn't the only one who struggled with that.
Yeah.
And
you briefly met Karuna today and on the call, so I can relate. She's also my younger sister.
Okay.
So same with maths and science, and she would come
and I love maths and science now. I must tell you this now.
I hope she does too.
I must tell you this because I'm very, I love them now.
Yeah.
I have, in fact, created content for STEM uh,
Okay.
in the past couple of years as well. So I've now come to that level of engagement with math and science.
Yeah.
But I wish it had happened during school days. It would have made this journey so much easier.
Yeah.
But I think it was meant for a certain reason. It was meant because I needed to understand, and so that stayed with me. College was just a complete flip around, where everything was because you chose certain subjects you enjoyed, and then uh, you were active, you were engaged, and then I saw the difference between school and college.
I'm sure. Yeah.
And then you realize that this
It's
is
a
it.
new horizon that opens up.
Because you
I
get
mean,
more freedom, you
yeah.
get more agency, you get more choice.
Yeah.
And that just clicked. Luckily for me, I I found good people in the first 4 or 5 years of my career, and therefore I was able to move in the direction that I
Right.
wanted to.
And you were also recognized by the Chief Minister of
Yes.
Madhya Pradesh.
Madhya Pradesh.
So what did that moment felt to you personally, and did it help you in doing what you wanted to do and what you did next?
So it was
from
a
that moment?
validation of all that one had done, but also kind of raise the benchmark of what I needed to do next as well.
Does it give you more access to ministry, or
No.
you already had?
No.
It's just a validation.
It was more of a validation, and I
but
think
they
all
recognized
awards.
your work.
I think all awards
Yeah.
are just more. I mean, for an educator, it's a validation. Not. I mean, we work without those validations also. They just add to the glamour on the shelf.
But what you majorly did was you worked with teachers.
Yes.
That was through Learning Links.
Learning Links.
When which led to this recognition.
No.
No.
This was not. This was with another organization, Post Learning Links.
Okay. And both organizations were doing similar work?
No. GEMS is an international brand. Based out of UAE. They have about 700 plus schools across the world. I was working with GEMS as the head of their indoor school and also kind of executive principal.
And Learning Links is the government.
The Learning Links is a foundation that works, education foundation that works in education, multiple projects that they do. Some of these projects were CSR projects of corporates. So this was a Michael and Susan Dell Foundation project that we were doing with 5 state governments across the country.
And they had access to 1,000 schools.
So
we're talking thousands of
200 schools per state, 1,000 schools across 5.
And then 700 schools under GEM. Like, I mean, you...
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, we've... And so 700 schools across the world. GEMS has multiple schools.
Whatever you do would have a ripple effect in terms of impact. That's what I'm trying to...
I would say, yes, that... mainly it also, I mean, whatever impact it had, where it had, I could see the aha moment for, let's say, for the government school teachers. You know, the aha moment that comes when they say, okay, now I get it. Because we had created these teacher instruction booklets for them, where every page from an NCERT textbook was taken, and you looked at, okay, how would you teach this? Because teachers were not trained to teach. And the NCERT had come up with very engaging theme-based textbooks. And teachers would come and tell us, ये तो EVS है, ये math थोड़ी ना है, तो फिर हम math कैसे पढ़ाएंगे इसमें से?
अच्छा ठीक है.
So because for them it was a new way. They'd got new books, but they were not trained on how to teach. And we realized that these are para teachers who are anyways not trained, and we needed to train them. So just...
Can you walk me through maybe one school or one teacher?
Sure. So, I mean, I wouldn't remember
where you saw the shift happening. I mean,
so I will give you a general thing because we were working in Jharkhand, and we were creating these teacher instruction plans. After I went to one school, and the teacher said, "Ma'am, ye nai math ki textbooks hai. How do I teach math from this EVS book?" He was really, and I kind of went through the book with him, and I explained, and he said, "Acha, acha." Then that "acha" gave me we gave us all an idea that we need to scaffold this for the teachers.
Hmm.
We need them to feel empowered that when they get into the classroom,
Okay.
they know what to do. So
Hmm.
every page of the NCRT book was kind of screenshot there, and then you had the learning outcomes.
Okay.
So what does this page focus on? How do you teach it?
Okay.
What are the kind of key highlights of that particular? So page on page on
Every
page,
page.
every page,
All subjects.
all subjects. We had to do that for them,
Okay.
and we did it.
Wow.
And there's another state that we worked in. I will not name them, but they weren't teaching English, even though they were supposed to, because the teacher said, "हमको तो अब हमारी regional भाषा ही आती है ना,
Yeah.
English तो आती नहीं है तो हम पढ़ा ही नहीं रहे." So we had to do a bilingual there.
Okay.
So
which is
I'm not going to name the state, which is so the same NCRT thing.
Okay.
But you do it in two languages.
In their
language, and then in English.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're teaching English, then you first have to do the bilingual, so they understand what this means. Yeah. And
it's
then
so critical.
Then they, when we went back next, once they had used those booklets, they, you could see the bright eyes of our teachers, and they were like, "मैंने पढ़ा दिया." We did an activity and it went so well. We taught a chapter and I was able to teach, because as a teacher, if you're not doing justice, you don't rest easy. And they were very unhappy with the fact that I'm being given a task of teaching English to my students, and I'm not able to do that.
Right.
So I couldn't teach them English, but
and
I could.
Year on year, they are teaching new batch of students. They are teaching, so
and they're
for
teaching
a teacher,
nothing. So now that at least they had that scaffolding, they were able to teach. They were able to understand and therefore try and teach. क्योंकि क्या होता है, पढ़ लेते हैं हम अंग्रेजी लेकिन हम बोल नहीं पाते, क्योंकि हम समझ नहीं रहे हैं. अभी मुझे bilingual में आ गया है, तो मैं कर पाऊंगा.
So the teacher is empowered. The students, of course, now
and
send
then
that
you
energy.
saw the children flowering.
Yeah. And maybe this new learning opens up new horizon for this teacher to keep learning more.
Absolutely. And you never know. I've kind of moved on. I don't know the kind of impact. And it wasn't just me. It was a whole team of people working, right? And even if we've touched, let's say, 10 lives, I'm not saying then, that could be 1,000 lives. I'm saying just even 10 lives that we've transformed or touched,
I'm sure,
for the positive. I think we've done our job well.
Yeah. And it has its own
and that'll have its own ripple effect.
Wow.
And I think we should focus on what is that small thing that I can do and make a change now. I can't solve world hunger. I can't change the world. But what is in my power to do now? But even if it's small.
Right.
Because those small little things will all kind of come together and snowball into one large impact.
Absolutely.
But we think, अच्छा हम बड़ा नहीं कर सकते तो हम ये छोटा क्यों करें?
And while we are talking about this, is this something that a teacher should learn, or somebody who's enrolled into B.Ed should go through this process? Do you feel?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think the actual practice is something that they do internships for sure. But I think the real
the framework and other stuff, I mean, it should be more practical. I don't know what they teach in B.Ed.
It should be more hands-on.
Yeah.
It should be more hands-on.
It becomes easier.
I have seen freshers come into class and be completely lost. So I do get a degree. But
yeah, of course.
Please edit that as well.
No, it's we understand that because that's the learning system, and that's what is happening now at Heritage Experiential.
So now when teachers come in, then we have to kind of start the entire process of retraining them. Teaching them. And that's not an overnight job. That's going to take years and years.
Right.
So when parents come up to us and tell us that, when they compare us to the Heritage Gurgaon, for example, we say it took them 20 years.
Yeah.
We are in our 4th year.
Yeah.
Allow some time.
Right.
Our values are in place. Our intent is right. But the journey will take its own time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that journey, change is never easy. It's very messy.
Me coming from a traditional school, I mean, we had a great school.
So traditional schools are great schools, I must say.
No.
I mean,
what
I
I'm
want to
trying
make that
to
clear
say,
as well.
in terms of infrastructure or in terms of teachers or the quality of education we had, I went to study abroad and I was prepared for it,
Hmm.
all of it. But when I stepped into heritage, it felt something else. That's what I was trying
I
to say.
think it's
So
not
even
the walls or the infrastructure, it's the people.
it's the people. Yes.
It's the people and the culture.
So from the entry where you do your entry to walking up to, let's say, an auditorium is a different experience, and not only I felt it. A lot of our YI members felt it whenever they go to the school, when we are doing
Yeah.
an activity, they see a difference
Yeah.
in each and every person. Yeah.
And I can say that very proudly. I mean, when people come and ask me about what kind of culture do you have, I say,
Hmm.
go walk down the corridor,
Yeah.
speak to a didi or a bhaiya,
Yeah.
not just my team or my teachers or my leadership. Speak to anybody at school.
Right.
You'll get a sense of the culture we are building. You know, an open, honest, respectful culture,
Right.
a positive culture. So people now walk into the reception and say, we get a positive vibe, and when we enter school. And I think that is what I think we have to maintain the humanity, the humaneness of uh, everything in everything that we do.
Right.
Those are the treasures we'll give our children.
Right. And you were mentioning about the pillars. In fact, I had written them, that heritage operates on 4 pillars, which is experience, reflection, dialogue, and understanding.
So that's the experiential learning cycle.
Okay. That's the pillar where you
That's
build
the
all the
yeah.
experiences, that it begins from experience, then you reflect, then you have a dialogue and understanding.
Yeah.
And can you tell me where it worked beautifully and where it fell apart, maybe? Because
Um,
you're trying new things.
yeah.
Right? So let's also talk about where it fell apart,
Yeah, sure.
and you figured out, okay, we should next time do this.
Uh, I'll tell you where it worked beautifully
Yeah.
to begin with. There's so
Yeah.
many instances. So many
I'm sure.
things
Yeah.
that my grade 1 children walked into a class
Mhm.
that was completely empty. It had chairs all scattered around, tables scattered around, nothing in place, nothing sorted on their first day of school, I think.
Okay.
And they were like, what's happening? Yeah. And that was an experience for them. They didn't know where to sit. They didn't know what to do. This was going to be a lesson around norms.
And this is grade
and
1,
order.
which is
Babies.
6-year-old.
Yeah, 6 plus.
And they're still thinking of systems.
They're thinking.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
when the system is there, they take it for granted.
Yeah.
When the system is missing, they realize that there is a system that needs to be in place.
Okay. Because
Yeah.
of nursery education or
Because
don't know,
they're
yeah.
used to it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
used to coming
Or
into
at
a
home, yeah.
settled classroom.
Yeah.
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 Imagine when you come into a scattered space and then you're saying, okay, now what?
Right.
So then the teacher says, okay, so what do we need to do?
Yeah.
You know, how do we bring more sanity into this place? And the little babies worked around. We have a story on LinkedIn on that as well, with pictures of that. And I think that worked so beautifully because they came in, they experienced, they reflected on that experience, they had a dialogue, and they actually actioned that. They figured out that rules are important, structure is important, systems are important. Nobody had to teach them that.
Yeah.
They experienced it.
Right.
Yeah. My grade 7 children, they had to do this whole design thinking cycle where they've had to figure out what is the one challenge that is being faced at school and how can we solve it.
Okay.
So they went around interviewing people, observing the entire school, and then they came back and said, the little ones, they go to the splash pool and they don't have a shade
Okay.
on top. So that means that when it's very sunny or it's very, if it's raining, then the babies can't go and play in the splash pool. So it worried the grade 7 children that ये तो गलत बात है ना, बच्चों को तो खेलना चाहिए.
Okay.
So we said, okay, then what do you want to do about it? They said, we will design.
Okay.
And then so there was this whole, they were divided into groups. They researched, they designed. They were even talking about tensile aluminium, etc. They did that level of research. They made prototypes. There was solar powered shade as well that would give them electricity.
Yeah, solar. Yeah.
There was one of them had covered it. So we said, why do you want to cover the splash pool? So children need privacy. So
Okay.
there were about 10 groups of children who created these designs. We did a presentation. We called in an architect.
Okay.
He's a brilliant architect, young, enthusiastic. Yeah. So preliminary session. He had taken a session with our children.
Okay.
Um,
All right.
yeah. And
Yeah.
before they started, he had taken a session with them, talked about design and stuff with them, and then they had their models ready, and then we invited him back again, and then these children presented their models.
Yeah.
And finally, we took the best ideas from all of them, and we put it all together. So now the next task is for us to work together and create that. So that's going to happen. So again, problem solving, decision making, critical thinking, all of that, and independent thinking. Also collaboration, communication. These are all critical skills that we need to give our children. It worked beautifully. There are times when it doesn't work beautifully. Sometimes it falls flat because maybe the children didn't. So we create something and we think, wow, this is going to be awesome because I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
But the children are not in a mood.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Not in a mood.
Yeah.
They're not interested.
Right.
And it falls flat on its face. So then that's where the quick thinking comes in. I remember an incident many years ago at Inventure. One of my early years teacher, she had a beautiful plan and she was very excited about it. And she goes into class, and we had this large open spaces. So there was she was just starting out, and a stick insect. It's a largish insect.
Okay.
It looks like you've kind of made it out of sticks.
Okay.
Okay, it's a stick insect. It walked into the classroom.
Okay.
And all the children were like, wow, what is this? And, now that is a learning moment.
Yeah.
She could have either ignored that and said, no, we have to get on with our lesson.
Yeah.
Or she could have taken that learning moment and kind of created an entire learning around that
insect. Or,
yeah. She did that.
Right.
And that became an entire theme for a whole week or 10 days for them. Wow. And the children were so excited. So times when things fall flat, they don't work because children are not in the mood for what you have designed, but they want to learn something different. So would I say it's a failure? No, I would say it was an opportunity well taken.
And what has changed since you've taken charge at Noida? A lot. Can you take us through maybe just like a journey, maybe even from walking, not infra-wise, but as we said.
I'm not talking about, I wouldn't talk about
people-wise and
I think what we've changed dramatically and drastically is the culture of the school.
Okay.
We have a happier group of people working, and I'm not commenting on what happened before. Yeah. They were equally happy or not happy, but I made sure that at least our attrition rate comes down drastically, for example, which was a reflection of the fact that my team is happy. Right. We gave them more voice and agency. We made them work extra hard because when you have to work the heritage way, it requires a lot of hard work. It's like your iPhone. The user interface is very easy, but very complex. Right. So that's how teaching learning also is. The thought behind the plan is very complex, but what you present to the children has to be easy. So the thought, the thinking, the reflection, the study. So now each teacher is on their learning journey. And not just a team. I would say even my admin staff or my non-teaching staff. We're all on our learning journeys.
Looking at 2 years ago and now, you feel it's like completely changed?
You should ask my team. You should ask my team. I think my team would be a better person. But I would say
I've seen the new version and I love it. And
thank you. But I think earlier also it was lovely. But right now we are making a lot of changes to make the system more, how should I put it? As I said, fearless.
Yeah. When everyone's empowered and they know they have some responsibility, some authority and some liability.
So this is very important.
Yeah.
Responsibility. which is what holds everything together.
Yeah.
You have to understand your responsibility.
Right.
You have a certain measure of authority, whether it's in the classroom or over a team or whatever. But how do you hold that authority? Do you hold it with grace and respect and wisdom? Because
Yeah.
that is what we are now embedding in the team. Respect is the core of what, and that is non-negotiable.
Right.
So those are the changes that have come in
Right.
into the team and this thing. Our teaching learning is also now moving more, because earlier it was a franchise model. Now we are full-fledged, a
Okay.
full-fledged heritage experiential learning school,
Okay.
which means that a lot of the practices are now getting implemented.
Yeah.
As well, which requires a lot of teacher training.
Right.
My teachers over the entire week are staying back till 4:30, let's say now 5, because they're being trained. And they do that every day, and they do that with much joy. I wouldn't say a lot of joy, but much joy, because of course they have their work lives to also look at. We try to keep it balanced. But the early years are always years of struggle, where a lot of hard work needs to go in for us to be in a position where we can proudly say that yes,
Yeah.
we are now.
Last month we had Preeti. She goes to corporates and teach about new methods, and they
Right.
play games and focusing on marketing, sales, collaboration. Our company is called The Catalyst. The reason I'm bringing it up, and all of us were here as the production team. I was sitting here and we were talking about learning, and she said something which stayed with me, is that humans are by default learners.
Yes.
So once you open up that perspective, or you give them that consciousness of that you are available to teach, and you give them that landscape, they would always go and learn, like how we are
Yes.
learning AI and we are always evolving. And I mean, I can all relate to what you've done, all of this. But even after 30 years, does anything surprise you in terms
Yes,
of when you
every
look
day.
at
Every day.
especially for when you look at children, or anything connected to
Every day.
them?
I think I'm, as you said, humans are learners. And I think in education, if you stop being a learner, then there's no point. I mean, you're dead. So every day is a new learning. I come and I think that that's what keeps us alive and young, at heart at least, because it is important to be learning every day and to be surprised every day, because the surprise brings you joy or learning. Either ways.
But when you look at children, is there anything that surprised you, like 30 years ago?
Oh, you mean to say the
That way,
changes?
yeah, the changes or something.
Constantly. There is a lot of change. And I do want to say this. I think value systems are eroding. There
Okay.
is so much exposure to social media.
Yeah.
A lot of supervision that, or at least adult presence, is missing now. This is a generation that is that needs to be held and guided
More sensitively and
more sensitively
empathetically.
and
Right.
empathetically, because
Right.
their lives are very difficult. They are very difficult. There are peer pressures that are immense. There
Yeah.
is pressure from home and societal pressures, and exposure to so much information that it kind of really boggles the mind. It's difficult for us as adults to handle it. Imagine children.
Right.
And the values are the anchor that will hold this new generation and keep them rooted while the world opens up for them. There has to be some anchor that holds them. Family values,
Yeah.
family affection, um, a sense of belonging. Our children are searching for that sense of self. I don't know how many of them have the courage to be who they are, because they're so busy copying somebody else,
Yeah.
be it a friend, be it an
Right. Absolutely.
influencer, be it an um,
For parents.
yeah,
Yeah. Even for parents.
even
And
parents.
yeah.
It is so.
Many don't know who they
So
are.
this
Yeah.
is a very so this is a journey the school, the parent, and the child has to take together as a complete unit, and they have to remember that we are on the same side.
Right.
That's important to remember.
Yeah.
We're not in it because we're not in school because it's we're in it because for our passion and our belief that this is the mission that we have come for. Otherwise, it's a very difficult life for a teacher or an educator, school
Yeah.
leader. I tell my parents often. I say, when you're doing a corporate job, very often the time you shut down your system,
Hmm.
at least you're able to switch off and go home. We don't have any such systems to switch off. We carry our children in our hearts and our minds
Yeah.
through the day.
Of
We take them home with us. We're thinking
yeah.
about them. We come back the
Hmm.
next day.
Yeah.
Um, and you have one child to think about. We have thousands to think about. And
All
each
are
of them
equal.
and all of them are
Yeah.
equally important
Yeah.
for us.
Hmm.
And yeah. And for that, I think we need the support of parents. Because today,
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me, but it does sadden me at some time. Because I think this generation is fabulous in terms of their intelligence, their ability to cope with
Hmm.
new things. You see the way they adapt to change,
Yeah.
um, technology, etc. I mean, they're
Right.
doing amazingly well there, but socially and emotionally, they are becoming very isolated because everything is virtual for most of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So experiential doesn't mean it's tech driven or computer
No.
driven. It's because I was reading recently, there's a massive news now circulating in the US where they
Yeah.
said that probably in 2010, when the boards became digital, the blackboards or whiteboards became digital, the education, uh, the learning went down because we're not writing anymore.
Yeah.
But since we are speaking for almost an hour now, that uh, I understood that that was a wrong understanding for me when I thought of experiential or when I thought of maybe NEP also. That it's not that. It's more of your daily systems. It's more of design thinking. It's more of your thought process. It's more of
Everything is a tool.
yeah, hmm,
Technology is a tool
yeah,
to further my learning,
yeah,
but it can't be the only way in which I learn
hmm,
because the world around me is my biggest teacher,
yeah,
right? How do
actually,
things work? I remember that we have this how things work. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
The curiosity, the willingness to
yeah,
explore, to
hmm,
figure things out, you know,
hmm,
um, those are what we're trying to instill in our children. Right now, they feel it's very cool to say that, oh, I don't care. It doesn't matter. Oh, what's so great about something like that? So there's no
yeah,
joy or wonder or excitement. I think
hmm,
we want to bring that back into our children,
yeah, yeah.
and that will not happen sitting in front of a screen.
Because in 90s when I was growing up, a lot was changing, so that curiosity was always there.
Yeah.
Even connecting a cassette player or
Hmm.
a stereo, I mean, those were the days, and then you were figuring out,
Yeah.
and me and my dad would figure it out. And
Yeah.
yeah,
So we have a
that's
we have a
yeah.
beautiful we have a beautiful space called the Maker Space, and we
Hmm.
have a very fantastic curriculum for that, where we basically it is about figuring out,
Hmm.
creating, innovating, designing, constructing, getting our hands, working with cardboard, PVC
Yeah.
pipes, material. So we start as early as UKG,
Okay.
and we have a junior maker space and we have a senior maker space, and we use 3D printers, we use laser cutters, we have all of that as well for
Wow.
children to design on. But it's a journey they take
Hmm.
from the
Right.
junior program up. Technology plays a very important part, but it's
Right.
a part.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not the main thing. It shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. I know you have another meeting.
Mm.
I just have last question, and
Sure.
then uh, that what do you think how India should look at children? And now we're not talking about just heritage
Of
or
course.
adventure, we're
Yeah.
looking at the entire scale and its variety. If you go to Kashmir and down south or left to right, what do you feel one thing that could change or one thing that India should really focus on in terms of education and its children?
Make it more meaningful, relevant, and current.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that is very, and the context of that will change depending on where the child is,
Yeah. Right. Of
urban,
course.
rural, mm,
Or even at
the,
what, in which geographical
in
location
whichever
they are.
geographical, make
Yeah.
it meaningful, relevant.
Don't make it standardized
Yeah,
and
don't standardize it.
make sense. Yeah. Because through Young Indians, we get to travel. I
Hmm.
mean, we're spread across, and then you're absolutely right. Because once it's standardized, we see a lot of gaps happening.
Standardizing is very, um, it's easier to do, right?
Hmm.
It's convenient.
And
And what
it's
I'm
lawfully right.
lawfully right.
Yeah.
Equity
Yeah.
in terms of, so everybody gets
Yeah.
same level of learning,
Hmm. Hmm.
but do they need the same thing
Yeah.
delivered in the same way, or can we make it, customize it to what my children need? I think our children need to experience more.
Even colleges are struggling with AI coming in.
Yeah.
Their curriculum isn't changed. The private ones have changed, but you go to Delhi University, they're still figuring out. And while I'm sure it's a lot of study for them also, and it's a big change, the AI is also changing the landscape. So I understand how to make it relevant, how important it is.
Yeah. Also,
And
allow children to breathe. I
hmm,
think the it's not how much you are teaching, but how well you are teaching what you're teaching.
hmm,
And
hmm,
and have you paced it out in such a way that the children have the time
yeah,
and the opportunity to explore, experience, understand, reflect,
yeah,
or the entire cycle.
yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you don't want to change much.
Hmm,
You just want them to kind of allow them space to do that, and you'll
right.
be surprised at the magic they can create.
Hmm,
Children on their own,
absolutely.
and the teachers, if you allow them that space and allow them to breathe.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I am also, we are also in the process of, we are trying to balance both right now,
Hmm, hmm.
allowing them to breathe and still sticking to whatever. It's our journey, we are taking it also. It will take some time for us to go the complete way, um, but that's where we dream to be.
Right, right. You and I know each other through Young Indians, I
Yeah,
mean, and I keep bringing it up in this conversation because this year, being the chair for Noida,
yeah,
I do a lot of uh, towards the community also, and that's how we met. I'm glad
yeah,
we met, and we had some activities also that we
yes,
planned together, and we saw the impact of it. Uh, the deaf society match that we did
that
went
was
to
so
the
big.
nationals also, and they praised it, and other chapters also picked it. I want to understand, does communities like us is relevant in terms of a school like you? I know we are playing a great part when we go to government aided schools or traditional schools, but do you feel that there's an add-on also,
Yes,
or is it relevant even, or
absolutely,
hmm,
absolutely, because you bring the world in
mm-hmm,
as well. You bring another perspective in. Let's say when we did that match with the Noida Deaf Society.
hmm, right,
Next time we said
yeah,
we'll do it with the children. This
yeah,
time it was
yeah,
the team and the staff. Um, there's so much our children need to experience. I don't
hmm,
see them uh, exploring the world like they should.
yeah,
Yeah. And it is important. These are perspectives that are important. They need to know. They need to meet more people. They need to have more experiences. And I think Young Indians does a fantastic job in bringing those to us.
hmm.
And this year we've promised to do more.
Absolutely, yes.
But no, they're absolutely relevant. Children are children everywhere. And
Hmm. Because we
just
have our
because,
executive council, and we often think
mm,
of would schools, why would schools like these would want us, because they already have a lot happening, but this brings some sort of
mm,
encouragement and validation also
yeah.
for me to go
No,
back and
no,
tell
I
them
think,
that you
see,
need to push
also,
harder and maybe
yes,
figure out maybe what we have a standard curriculum, and that's what we spoke of, and maybe that standard curriculum doesn't work, so we maybe need to co-create and find something else.
And also because, see, all of you are, I mean, when young Indians, all the people I've met are doing very well for themselves. You know, you're professionals in your own fields. That kind of experience also, when
Yeah.
our children, when you interact with our children, or when you bring a program. Let's say I was talking about your work, a few of the programs that we plan to do in the next coming months. Um, School can't do everything. They don't have the, sometimes it's always nice to have another perspective, a third person coming in and helping us do things. So, I think you're very relevant, at least to us you're very
Thanks.
relevant. And we look forward to doing things together.
Anything you want to say, because this has come specially from Rohit,
Acha.
that you need something for YI also, but I thought there's
So
no.
yeah, definitely I would like to say that the entire team that I've met, the YI team that I've met, you are so passionate and committed to the cause. Yeah, and it has been. I mean, we've done only a few programs together.
Yeah.
Although we did sign our MOU.
Yeah.
Last year.
Last year. Yes.
Yeah. I think the kind of work you're doing is amazing. The kind of commitment you bring as a team is fantastic to see. And therefore, schools like us want to work with you. Because I think there is so much more that you have to offer to the community at large. And not just you coming into school, but we would like to partner with you and do some work for the community as well. So whether you want us to work with the government schools, or you want resources, or anything that we can do to help you on the journey, because we'll be privileged to do that. We'll be very happy
And
to
we
do
felt that. I mean, you said it now, but we know that whenever something's happening, we can always reach out to, and we've experienced that.
Sure.
I would say the same.
We'll be there.
Language. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time today.
It was a pleasure speaking with you.
I know
Ravneet.
we chased this, and now we managed to do it, and I'm so happy we spoke about all these interesting areas. And
yeah, I think I've spoken about a lot of these things for the first time in many years, because you keep doing your journey and then don't pause. Sometimes you need to pause and kind of reflect back on what you have done. This was a good.
So today I sat like a student because I wanted to learn more, and of course, as we said, humans are learners, and I'm always.
I enjoyed our conversation.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Shaheen has spent 30 years proving something that sounds simple, but it's incredibly hard to live by. That children will figure it out if you give them space to try. She proved it on a borrowed farm in Bangalore with 27 kids and no textbooks. She proved it in government classrooms across Jharkhand where teachers didn't know how to use the books they were given. And she's proving it right now at Heritage Experiential. The real story here isn't about experiential learning or education policy or any of that. It's about belief. Believing in a way of doing things when the world around you keeps asking for proof before they'll trust the process. I'm Ravneet Oberoi. This is the story behind. And if this made you rethink about what good education actually looks like, send it to somebody who's taking a decision right now.